For generations, the locals surrounding Mount Mulanje have believed that Mount Mulanje is home to the spirits of their forefathers. Whether these beliefs are right or wrong, it's not for us to tell. Over the last 7 years, I have frequently hiked Mount Mulanje, and every chance I get, I like to discuss this issue with the locals, the porters, the guides, and sometimes the security personnel at the huts. I've been trying to find out, how do people disappear on this mountain? And in this episode, we discuss these disappearances. In September 2003, Linda Pronk, a Dutch lab technician, disappeared on this mountain.
Apparently, there was a party here in that hut behind me. And after that party, she decided to go to Sapitwa. And some people wanted to join her. So they asked her to wait up as they packed their bags to join her to Sapitwa. So she sat on that rock behind me, waiting for her colleagues to join her. But when the colleagues came out of the hut, she was gone. They thought she was just impatient and she had gone ahead to go to Sapitwa. So they went to Sapitwa and back. They didn't meet her at any point, and she was never seen again. So this is the last place that she was seen. And that plaque there, in case you're wondering, it says Linda's place. Her name was Linda. Nobody knows what happened to her. There are theories about what may have happened to her, but no one knows for sure. No trace, no body was ever found. It's another sad story. Someone who was in Malawi to volunteer and they never returned home, not even a body.
6 years later, in 2009, the Brazilian Gabriel Buschmann attempted to hike up to Sapitwa in one day. He did so in sandals, without a guide, and he went missing. Search parties were dispatched, and he was only found 2 weeks later, dead.
Behind me, you can see some hills. They are called Nagago Hills. Apparently, this is where the late Gabriel Buschmann was found 2 weeks after he went missing. If you haven't heard that story, this is a Brazilian guy who went hiking to Sapitwa, and on that day, when he was going back down, he was alone. It was foggy, it was raining, and visibility was really poor. He made a wrong turn, and he ended up in those hills you see behind me. That's where he was found 2 weeks after he went missing. It's very easy to get lost on Sapitwa, generally on Mulanje mountain. So you just have to follow guidelines given to you by your guides and porters. They know this mountain better.
In 2016, I attempted Sapitwa Peak for the first time. It wasn't the Sapitwa itself, it was what happened the night after. While we were sleeping at Chisepo Hut, it was a very strange night.
That night, night 3, was a very, very strange night. Remember, Mulanje mountain is known for its spirits, you know. So that night, one of my friends, Naomi, said that while she was sleeping, she felt like someone was tapping her on her shoulder. So she was in a sleeping bag. She couldn't turn around quick enough to check where it was. And Angelina was sleeping next to her, and she was fast asleep. There's no way she could have done that. So that went on for like 3 times, and she just decided to let it be. But it was a bit scary because we were in the dark, close to Sapitwa. Someone was playing tricks. We don't know who it was. It was just weird. It was a weird night. But hey, we were there. There was nothing we could do about it. So we slept through the night.
In December 2019, another adventure to Mount Mulanje, this time Chambe Plateau. I got a chance to talk to the hut caretaker about his experiences with spirits.
We're starting off from Francis Cottage. That has been our home for last night. Interestingly, this morning I had a chat with the caretaker for the house. I was asking him about spirits and if he has seen any in his 35 years on this mountain. he hasn't personally seen any, but he told us that back in the 90s, there used to be cattle on the mountain, and people would go take them to a distance and for grazing, you know. So one day they went to check them out, and while they were there, they just kind of blacked out. They didn't know what was happening. They couldn't find their way back for a whole night, and they returned the next morning and they didn't even know what was happening or where they had been. So he says that's the proof about the spirits on this mountain. Apparently they've been there. He hasn't really seen them, and he thinks the occurrences are fewer today than they were in the 90s. But hey, I'm not saying I want to see them, but perhaps Talumba has been hiking more than I have. Come here, tell us your experiences.
I don't have any experiences. I only know what I've been told by other people. Personally, I've had no experiences with any kinds of spirits. And all the incidences that have occurred to me personally, I've been able to explain. I'm not discounting people's beliefs or experiences. I'm simply talking about my personal experiences, which are none.
Thank you. So, as you've heard, we still are yet to find someone who has encountered the spirits. Everybody we've asked whether they believe in the spirits or not, they say that it hasn't happened to them personally, but they have heard of people that have encountered them. And the mystery continues.